Hello, and welcome back to Through the Pages with Dee. It's another tag. Why not? Again, I'm talking to you from the past. I am still currently on holiday. I am filming these consecutively before I go. So it's another tag. It's the nightclub tag, which has been created by Mr. Brian Bell from BellTube. And I was tagged by John and Jacob from Talking Story. So here we go. Question 1. Cocktail hour. Name a book that you think pairs perfectly with your favourite drink. Okay, so this one's a little bit difficult because I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank alcohol for 5 years, but it doesn't specifically say it has to be alcohol. So, when I did drink, I used to drink Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort and lemonade was a tipple that I used to like. So presently, I am buddy reading with Eva, the beautiful Eva from She Was Only Eva, Blackwater. And that is a very Southern Gothic kind of story. So I'm going to say for this one, Blackwater. Question 2. Neon lights. Name a book with a cover that immediately grabbed your attention like bright lights in a club. A book that grabbed my attention, I would have to say, is one that was recently recommended to me. I've mentioned this before, by Rabin from Only the Best Fantasy Novels, and that was The Once and Future Witches. The cover on that is kind of very much like a tattoo design. So that was actually quite a beautiful cover. So I'm going to have to say that one for Neon Lights. Another one I will have to agree with Jacob on this. Spear Cuts Through Water has a beautiful cover on it. There are lots of beautiful covers, but just sitting here now thinking what book grabbed my attention, it was definitely the cover of The Once and Future Witches. So yeah, I'm going to say that one for number 2. Number 3, The Bouncer. What book did you have to put down because it just wasn't letting you in? Easy. Dune. Dune just wasn't working for me. I don't know what it was about it. I just couldn't get to grips with it. Another one, which was Beyond Redemption, which I was struggling with. That they've actually temporarily been DNF'd, but I will pick them back up at some point in the future. But yeah, the main one that stands out as The Bouncer is Dune, which may surprise some people, but I couldn't wrap my head around it, so it has to be Dune for that one. Number 4, DJ's Choice. My initials are actually DJ. Just thought I'd let you all know that. DJ's Choice. What book would you recommend as the perfect read for someone new to the fantasy genre? I would have to say John Gwynne. The Faithful and the Fallen series was one of the first fantasies that I read properly as a series, and I absolutely adored that series. I still do. At some point in the future, I'm going to go back and read it. I love John Gwynne. And then again, what I'm reading currently, The Once and Future Witches. When I review it, I will try and explain to you what I mean by this book. Oh, and Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames is another one. I can't just pick one, you see. So to introduce you to fantasy, it would be Kings of the Wild, it would be John Gwynne, and it would be Alex E. Hammond with The Once and Future Witches. I'm hoping in review to be able to verbalise just how much this book is making an impact on me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it into words because it's just wow. That's all I can say is wow. Number 5, Disco Ball. So, name a book that made you feel like you were part of a vibrant, glittering world. Vibrant, glittering world. Spear Cuts Through Water has a fantastic environmental world with it. Wickwire Watch also has a fantastic environment. I wouldn't say it's bright and glittering, but what I would say is that Dickensian gas lamp feel that Wickwire Watch has is very much my cup of tea. It's very much up my street. So when I'm kind of in that environment, I'm quite at home. I quite like that kind of London, sort of Jack the Ripper type environment is where I like to be in a story. But if we're talking vibrant, vibrant, ooh, that's a hard one. I think certain elements of The Spear Cuts Through Water can be read as being vibrant, and some of maybe Malazan could be vibrant. I think I read things that are quite dark, to be honest, rather than vibrant. But yeah, those are the answers I'm going to give. Dance Floor Diva. What book had you dancing with excitement from the first page to the last? So if we're talking about book I've finished, completed, I would have to say Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. I adore that book. I cannot tell you how much I adore that book. I've tried, I've reviewed it, but that book, I absolutely adore it. Every single element of it, the characters, the environment, everything. I love that book. And there's slight hidden little rock 70s references. It's just a fantastic book. I adore it. Plus, I'm going to have to say I haven't finished it, but it is looking like potential book of the year, The Once and Future Witches. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. That definitely is something that is awesome to me. It's awesome. Guest list. Which author would you invite to an exclusive book theme party and why? Agatha Christie. There's no thought there. There's no pause. Agatha Christie. I have grown up with Agatha Christie. I adore Miss Marple. I like Poirot as well, but I adore Miss Marple. Everything Miss Marple. Yeah, so it'd have to be Agatha Christie. She'd be one of the first who I'd have to ask. If I couldn't get Agatha, I know she's dead, but that's, regardless. If I couldn't get Agatha, I think probably Stephen King, just to pick his brain. If not Stephen King, then Clive Barker, because I am a big horror fan. So I would need to speak to at least one horror author. It would have to be a horror author. If it wasn't Agatha Christie, it would be a horror author. So yeah, those are my choices there. Where are we up to now? VIP entrance. Which book did you feel privileged to read before it became more wildly popular? See, I'm quite new to BookTube and books like this, so I don't really know if I've got one for that question. Privileged to read before it became more wildly popular. I would have to say Hidden Pictures. I've had a look on BookTube. It has been reviewed, but not by that many people, which does surprise me, because it is an amazing story. It's horror. Well, it's a supernatural thriller. It's written by Jason Rekulak. I've just recently reviewed it because I read it last year before I started BookTube. So yeah, I would have to say, yeah, Hidden Pictures for that one. Because I haven't seen it talked about that much, and I'm trying personally to get it out there and get it spoken about, because it is a little hidden gem. It really is a hidden gem. Number 9. Oh, I like this one. Dance Battle. Which two characters from different books would you love to see face off in a dance battle? The first ones, when I read this, that came to mind, I don't know if I want to stick with them, but I'm going to tell you anyway, was Gar from, if I've got my people correct, from The Faithful and the Fallen, who's Corbin's kind of uncle, protector, and Quick Ben from Malazan. I would actually genuinely pick a couple of Malazan characters, but it does say from different books. So I would have to go with Gar from The Faithful and the Fallen and Quick Ben from Malazan. I'd like to see a dance-off between them two, because even though I know one's magic and one isn't, but the way they're described is of a similar sort of size and match in height and what have you. So I think I would have to go with those two. Other than that, I would like to pick some females as well. So I think I'd go with Tattersail. And I think I would probably face her off against Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter. I'd just like to see how that would play out. Bit different, I suppose, but I'd like to see how that would play out. So Midnight Road, number 10, Midnight Road. Oh, Midnight Read, sorry. Midnight Read. What's a book you couldn't put down and ended up reading all night? That was Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. That book is just so entertaining, so funny. You're drawn into the characters so much that I couldn't put that one down. I had to keep reading it. I also had to keep pestering my family and telling them about it. It's just a great book. I can't sing its praises enough. I haven't quite got round to the second book of Nicholas Ames yet, but I will do at some point. I just don't think it's going to have the same impact on me as the first book did, Kings of the Wild. But I absolutely adore that book. So number 11, After Party. What book left you with a hangover, unable to start a new read immediately after finishing it? That was my little... It wasn't one particular book. That was my Malazan May month. I struggled a little bit after I'd finished reading both those because it's very sort of high literature, if you understand what I mean. It's very... it can be quite complex and quite intense sometimes. And the bouncing about between characters and following the storyline, it is quite an intense read. It's not necessarily hard, but it is an adjustment to your reading style. If you've read sort of just basic literature, and by that what I mean is, without these flouncy words and things like that, it is quite a thing to get into. But I suppose when if you're somebody that's read Shakespeare and things like that, it will be quite easy. I haven't, so Malazan was quite a task for me, but I managed it. I can read it quite well now, but it does sort of knock me off my reading balance, and nothing else seems to fit once I've read Malazan. So yeah, I would have to say Malazan for number 11. And then number 12, Late Night Conversations. Which book left you thinking deeply or wanting to discuss it with others late into the night? For that, I would have to say it was Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. She is she was, I should say, sorry, an outstanding author. I desperately need to get to more of her works. Every time I go into the works, there's so many authors in my head that I want to read that I actually kind of forget sometimes who it is I'm looking for. But yeah, Octavia E. Butler's Kindred is one that opened up avenues of thought for me that I hadn't really processed before. And yeah, I did want to talk it out and sort of be like, what if that was the case? It's got kind of a sci-fi element to it if you haven't read it, with the time travel, but it's very deep and very thought-provoking piece of literature. So I would definitely say my number 12 is Kindred. And that's it. So now it's just left to tag some people. Now, because this is a new tag by Mr. Brian Bell, and it's got some fun questions, and I think some people could have some very varying answers to these questions. I'm going to tag quite a lot of people. I also believe from listening to John's video that he wants to get it out there. I did myself make a tag, which is out there somewhere. So if you want to look that up on my channel, I'll leave the link here either in the description, or I'll put it as a little pop-up. And you can do my tag, because I did create one. Mine's quite deep. Mine's quite thought-provoking. That's kind of the type of person that I am. But Brian Bell, being an ex-nightclub owner, has come up with something obviously that suits where a good percentage of his life was spent. So, to get it out there and to do a solid for a fellow booktuber, I'm going to tag quite a lot of people. So, here we go. So I'm going to tag Jules from Jules Books and Things. I'm also going to tag Sonia from Sonia with an I. I'm also going to tag Chaz from Bookish Chaz. I also would like to tag Ian from Ian Gabella. I hope I said your name right, Ian. I want to tag Pat. I want to tag Pat because not only has she become a friend, but I'm quite interested to see what Pat's answer would be. So that's Pat from Book Chat with Pat. I would like to tag Carl from Please Read Your Book. I would like to tag Venus from Venus Escapes to Books. I would also like to tag Harry from Harry's Book Cafe. And I would like to tag Mindy at Mindy's Books Journey. I would also like to tag Cam from The Weird Book Review. the Nerd book review, sorry, it's my writing, the Nerd book review. I would also like to tag Alex at the Bookybus. Alex reads a lot of horror, so I would like to see the answers that Alex comes up with. She's more of a horror reader, so I'd be quite interested to see what Alex says. I would like to tag Melinda from Web of Stories. I would like to tag Dan from Dan White Books. I would like to tag Raina from Raina Reads Stuff. And I would like to tag Matt from Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews. And I would also like to tag my bester, if he's got time and if he can manage to do it, Darko. Because I know he would give some fun answers too. So I've done the best I can there for you, Brian. I've tagged quite a lot of booktubers. I do subscribe to all these booktubers, and I watch the content. The great people, real fun, very varying tastes in books. I do like to follow people who are all over the place with their tastes. So we've got some horror in there, some fantasy, we've got some thriller people, and we've got some ladies who like the cosy crime. So I'm very interested to see what a lot of these people come up with in their answers, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll participate if they can find the time and join in with this tag. So yeah, I enjoyed this, Brian. Thanks for making it. Thanks to John for tagging me and Jacob. I appreciate that, and hopefully you have liked my answers. So I will see you again soon. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Love you all. Hey everyone. Thanks as usual for watching this video, and if you want more content you can click on one of the following links. Thanks so much for your support. See you again next time.